Ron, I can't help but smile as we get this virtual conversation going, as we just did with the draft. How we're all adjusting to this new world. How are you and your family dealing with the reality of right now?
Well, it's been real interesting because the shutdown came just as we were starting our move from Charlotte up to Virginia. And so we were right in that process. So it really kind of caught us. Plus, then we were getting ready for the draft. So it's been real. We've been really busy. We really have. My daughter works for our social media department, so she's been really busy with that. My wife's been trying to unpack the house. I haven't been a lot of help, mostly because I've been preparing for the draft, and now the draft is finally over. She's got me unpacking the boxes.
Get to work, Coach. Get to work. In that house, you better get stuff done. Far be it from me to speak on behalf of an entire fan base, but as a native Washingtonian and Redskin fan, thank you for taking Chase Young. I say that, and yet I don't know if there was another pick. You tell me. Like, he feels generationally special. Is that the way you saw him?
We do. We felt there were a couple of guys in this draft that were really special guys that could come in and help a team. And, we got the guy that we really thought was going to be there. We're real excited about who he's going to be for us, how he can help impact our team, where he's going to be on our defensive side, helping to impact that, and how it'll also affect the rest of the guys.
So much of being a coach is about the sort of systems that you run, the culture that you create, and you have been lauded for what you did in Charlotte. A lot of Panthers guys said, hey, Redskin fans, you're going to love what this guy's going to bring. But you got to be with your guys to establish that, Ron, and you're not. So how are you going about attempting to install what you're going to be as a team and your approach when you can't be with your folks day to day?
That's the hard part. It really is. But, again, if you go back to 2011 when I first became a head coach, we didn't get started until we got to training camp. So it's really one of those things that anytime you get an opportunity to send a little message or something like that, get in touch with a guy calls you about something or you call him about something, you try to strike those conversations up. And it's going to be over a period of time. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those who prefer to talk to people face to face. So it is a little bit hard right now, but I think our coaches are doing a great job establishing the culture that we want. They're doing the virtual meetings. They're spending a lot of time with these guys, 4 times a week, 2 hours a day, just trying to talk to them, get to know them, and also, put our basic installations in offensively, defensively, and special teams. And you're right. The hard part really is not really being able to establish the culture aspect of building a team.
We had a conversation, I think it was last week, with Lane Kiffin, although it could have been a month ago. Honestly, who remembers days and weeks at this point? But we were talking to Lane Kiffin, and he's the new coach at Ole Miss. And he was explaining how difficult it is as a new coach. And you obviously are dealing with it on the NFL level. They don't have spring ball. You won't have OTAs. How much does that set you back in terms of what you're trying to do, just the actual being on the field and the drills and what you want to get done?
Well, for the most part, everybody else is in the same boat.
Yeah.
So really it's going to be how you handle it when you come out of it more so than anything else, in my opinion, based on what I went through the first time, but you do see some of the exceptions, and you saw what Sean Payton's doing, and that's pretty much excusing everybody until they convene together. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens for those guys, because he went through it as well as a current head coach in the NFL when we had the labor strike or the labor stoppage in 2011. So really, to me, it is going to be about how you handle it when you finally come together as a football team.
What's most interesting to me, Ron, at the professional level is when you take over, you walk in and it's like moving into somebody else's house, right? I mean, there's furniture, It's not empty, right? There's stuff there. When you took inventory of what Washington had, what maybe surprised you in a positive way? Were there things that you thought in terms of the pieces that existed on the current roster that you were pleasantly surprised by?
Absolutely, Scott. When you go back and you look at their last 3 drafts prior to me getting there, there were a lot of young guys that had been on that, they had drafted, that had been part of that football team for the last few years, and who have played a lot of quality football. So this team, to me, was a team that could be potentially ascending. If we can continue to coach these guys up, continue to develop them, put a couple other pieces in place, I think we have a chance to start to develop a positive culture, a positive winning culture, and hopefully a sustainable winning culture.
Big picture, to get back out there, obviously nobody knows. But for you trying to get things moving in the direction you want as a first-year coach, what would sort of create an ideal timeline in terms of how much time you'd have? I mean, give me a sense of when being back out there practicing, it's hard to even imagine that right now, but when would that be the ideal sort of time frame?
Gosh, if things worked out in a positive way, in a positive fashion, and we were able to get all the things that we needed in place to make it a safe transition, I'd love to see us be able to do it at the end of July, beginning of August, something like that. But at its very least, if you could get a couple of weeks of training camp before you started the regular season, a lot like what they do in college football. So it'd be kind of interesting to see how things do unfold. But again, if everything's safe and we can do that and we can come back together in a safe fashion, I'd love to see it be at the very end of July like a normal training camp.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, you got more important stuff to do. You got boxes with your name on them, and you better
Yes.
figure out what's in those boxes and help out, because you got no more excuses. You got no OTAs and the draft's over. So now I guess your days are going to be pretty full, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It's kind of one of those things. You get up in the morning and it's completely different. But we start right off with our Zoom meetings with our players.
Okay.
And that'll go from 11 to 3. So there's a 4-hour window when I'm tied up, going through the different meetings. Different groups are meeting at 11, different groups at 12, different groups at 1, different groups at 2, and everything ends at 3. So I'm just kind of bouncing in and out right now. We'll at least have a couple days a week that I'll chit chat with the coaches and talk about the things that are going on. But for the most part, Scott, because I was the first head coach hired almost immediately, we were able to get a lot of things in place. We had a lot of things done, a lot of things accomplished before we went on lockdown. So right now we're kind of, just really kind of working through all the things that we've put in place. So we feel pretty confident, pretty comfortable right now.
And I'll tell you what a lot of Redskin fans feel, and that's optimistic. And I say this in sincerity. As a kid that grew up there and, they had parades and won Super Bowls, that's a fun way to feel, Ron. So a lot of folks in town are looking forward to seeing what you and the guys can do when you get out there. Stay safe until then, and stay safe once you're out there. We appreciate you taking a little time to visit with us.
Well, thanks, Scott. You guys stay well and be safe.
Thank you, Coach.
All righty.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.